Alrighty guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. You're watching the daily series of MUAY MMA. How have you guys been? How have y'all been doing well? I mean, how was this weekend of fights? Let me know. Matter of fact, yeah, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite event was, because there was a bunch of them. I know personally, me, myself, on Friday, I watched one championship. I watched Jonathan Haggerty take on Nong O, which I will be recapping today. On Saturday, I watched the UFC event between Sergei Pavlovich and Curtis Blaydes, as well as watching pretty much the whole card as well. And I'm going to go ahead and recap that event. And then Saturday night, I went ahead and watched Javonte Davis take on Ryan Garcia. I did not get to see the Bellator card. That one, yeah, took place a little bit too late for me. Let me know if you guys watched that one and how that one panned out. I did see the results, of course, but I want to know if you guys actually stayed up to go ahead and watch that event, which took place in Hawaii, if I'm not mistaken. So one of the first events that I've seen in Hawaii, even so that's something that's monumental, right? However, with all of that being said, like I said, I hope you guys are doing well, as we all deserve to be doing well. If you are new to the channel, I do post reaction videos where I react to MMA news as well as MMA fights and other events as well as in-depth fight analysis in both my predictions and in my breakdowns. So if that sounds like something that you guys are interested in or might be interested in receiving daily MMA content for, then go ahead and leave a like on this video to support me, your boy Noah, and you're more than welcome to subscribe as well in order to join the family and to be notified when more videos like this one come out in the future. So like I said, if you guys are interested in that, if that sounds interesting to you, if all of this interests you, is there another way to say it? Yeah, anyways, you're more than welcome to subscribe. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the recap of this entire weekend, pretty much, yeah? Alrighty guys, so let's go ahead and start off first with maybe the least popular of them, but the one that I was maybe most excited for going into this weekend. Jonathan Haggerty took on Nong O for one championship, Muay Thai Bantamweight World Championship. And if you guys aren't aware, Bantamweight, Flyweight, those are the most impactful and the deepest divisions in all of one championship. Whether it's Muay Thai, kickboxing, whether it's MMA, those are their deepest divisions. I guess it's just the people on that side of the world are generally that size, and so there's more competition there. But then again, that just might be the best weight class in the world, because UFC's bantamweight division is also insanely good. And then we also had 135 fights in boxing. Yeah, it just might be the weight class. But anyways, Jonathan Haggerty took on Nong O. Nong O is an absolute legend in Muay Thai, one of the best of all time. I mean, something crazy, like, you know, when you see those guys with over 200 wins and less than 20 losses, it's that kind of guy, right? He's been destroying everybody. Destroyed Liam Harrison, for those of you guys, y'all might know him. Destroyed Aliverdi Ramazanov in his last match, and he's just been going through murderer's row and beating everybody. And he's been doing it in Lumpini Stadium in his hometown of Thailand and in front of his home crowd. However, this one was a little bit different. He was going against Jonathan Haggerty, the former flyweight Muay Thai world champion of one championship. Of course, Jonathan Haggerty lost his belt to Rodtang. He lost him twice, just to keep some of y'all up to speed if y'all haven't been following one championship, which y'all should. And I'm going to tell y'all why in a later video. But Jonathan Haggerty moves up a weight class. He is on like a 3-fight win streak. He ends up getting a title shot against Nong O, the Muay Thai legend in his hometown, and knocks him out in the very first round brutally. I mean, if you haven't seen Jonathan Haggerty's highlights just of his career in general, he is a badass. Yeah, he has the slickest push kicks and knees and downward elbows, and it's just, he gets pretty nasty on the feet. And if you're interested in seeing some high-level striking, I would recommend that you go and watch his highlights, because those of you who only follow the UFC are missing out. But in order to wrap this recap up, he ended up destroying Nong O, just breaking him down technically. He just beat him from the jump. And usually it takes these Muay Thai legends, you know, some time to download their opponent's data and to start making their adjustments. They usually try to start picking it up in like the second round after taking the first round a little bit slowly. However, Jonathan Haggerty just came out right off the bat, hit him with a trip, and then as soon as he started throwing his hands, he landed that 1-2, hurt him, dropped him. The guy Nong O got up, wasn't really fully there. I thought that the ref, when he told him to come forward and he didn't come forward, I thought he probably should have stopped it, but ended up getting dropped 2 more times, knocked out in some brutal fashion. And yeah, Jonathan Haggerty's the new world champion. For those of you, my One Championship fans who watch One Championship, who do y'all think Jonathan Haggerty faces next? I mean, in my opinion, a fight with Rodtang would be just the trilogy fight with Rodtang would be amazing. But Rodtang he was already smaller than him at flyweight. I can't imagine how much smaller than him he'll be at bantamweight. I'm sure Rodtang wouldn't care, but that's just a factor that would go into play here. Also, Jonathan Haggerty's a lot better than when he faced him the times beforehand. Or will Jonathan Haggerty have a rematch with Nong O? That of course would take some time. I don't know if Jonathan Haggerty would want to be out for that long before he makes the big payday money again, or would he be willing to fight Liam Harrison? I know Liam Harrison is getting healed up from his leg ever since that Nong O fight. He hurt some tendons in his knee pretty badly in that fight, so it's been taking him a while to come back. But I know they're having a Muay Thai open weight Grand Prix. Wondering, is he gonna enter that? Is he gonna fight Haggerty? Is Haggerty and Liam Harrison gonna be in there? When is that event taking place? When are they gonna do that open weight thing? I've been waiting on a date and we still don't have one, so stay tuned for that. But moving on to the UFC event this weekend with Sergei Pavlovich and Curtis Blaydes. Oh man, wow. The main event was everything we hoped it would be. But, you know, leading up to the main event, we had Bobby Green get that no contest against Jared Gordon. It was a really weird way to enter the pocket from Bobby Green. It was almost like not an intentional headbutt, but he kind of just led with the head and ended up catching Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon kind of got put out by that headbutt, then later got put out by some hammer fists, in which they later called it a no contest. Yeah, I think that was probably the fairest call for both of them. I would assume that they would run it back. I don't know how that is going to work, but I would assume that they would run it back. Bruno Silva ended up getting a beautiful TKO stoppage over Brad Tavares. Brad Tavares, a guy who's really hard to finish, a guy who's always been hard to finish in his career, gets finished by Bruno Silva. I've been telling you guys since I saw Bruno Silva fight Alex Pereira, or really since before then when I was watching and studying his fights, I knew that he was a problem. I mean, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's very aggressive on the feet. He has power in his hands. I mean, what's not scary about that man, right? He's willing to trade. He's willing to throw. Yeah, I would like to see a fight between him and like Sean Strickland, in my opinion. I think that would be a really fun fight. That'd be very interesting to see how that one happens. I think that'd be a slugfest, but you know, aren't they all at the top of the division right now? Aren't they all? However, moving on to the main event, Curtis Blaydes versus Sergei Pavlovich. I thought Curtis Blaydes looked good, man. A lot of people are talking about his IQ after this fight and stuff like that, but those people saying that don't know what they're talking about. I thought that this is exactly what Curtis needed to do. I thought he needed to get that respect from Sergei and kind of feel him out on the feet, make sure he's comfortable. I mean, it's a 5-round fight. I thought that he abandoned his jab a little bit too early. I thought he would have stuck to that jab, and that would have benefited him a lot, but he abandoned it. He got his respect immediately at first. He landed a good cross against Sergey. Sergey still had a little bit of swelling around his mouth from that cross, and you saw that Sergey didn't strike for probably another like 45 seconds after that cross, so you could tell he got his respect. Yeah, he just kind of abandoned that jab while Sergey kept on that jab, kept on everything to the inside of Blaydes' frame, whether it was a jab, uppercut, or left hook. He started kind of abandoning that overhand right, which was good because Curtis does keep his hands high, and so everything was getting inside of his guard and inside of that frame, which, yeah, Sergey's a problem. Sergey is an absolute problem. It's less about what Curtis Blaydes didn't do, because he did try to shoot. Yes, he's not as savvy in his entries as John Jones. He's not going to slip a jab into a clinch and take him down that way, but he tried. I mean, he had good footwork for the most part. He had good striking for the most part. He was just going against a better striker, and when he ended up trying to shoot, it was more out of desperation. Those double legs were out of desperation and it wasn't really set up well. I thought maybe he would have had better success with a single leg. I think those are often better in MMA, but it is what it is. It happened. Sergei Pavlovich is legit. He's a monster. He's everything that everyone's been saying. I still don't know how he matches up against Jon Jones, but I would assume he gets that Jon Jones fight next, unless Jon is still planning on fighting the 41-year-old Stipe. Some of you know how I feel about that. Some of you know how I feel about half-blind Stipe Miocic, who's been through DC wars and been through Ngannou wars, fighting Jon Jones. Y'all know how I feel about that a little bit. I don't think that is the hardest fight for Jones. I think that is a little bit of easy pickings for Jon Jones, just because I respect Jon Jones, and I just don't think that Stipe's in his prime. I don't think that is the hardest fight out there. If anything, I was thinking Curtis Blaydes might be the hardest fight out there, but every time he runs into one of those knockout punchers, one of those guys who couldn't send a nuke through your head, it hurts. It hurts me to see that. But Sergei Pavlovich, I would assume that he would be a lot more patient against Jon Jones. The combinations in which he was throwing are a wrestler's worst nightmare. I mean, he was throwing an uppercut in almost every single one of those combinations, and it would be interesting to see how that pans out against Jon Jones. But as of right now, I think Jon Jones would still beat him, and I think that Jon Jones won't take that risk. I think he'll probably wait for Stipe, even though that fight is having its issues in happening. And then I think he might just retire after beating Stipe Miocic, unfortunately. But moving on, what do you guys think about that? Leave your comments down below, please. Remember, guys, I do this to give you my thoughts, but more importantly, I ask for y'all's. So feel free. I encourage you to comment during this video, please. Now moving on to Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Davis. It went exactly how I thought it was gonna go. If you guys watched my prediction video, I pretty much predicted that Tank would run around for the first 4 rounds, use his footwork, float like a butterfly, and sting like a tank. I pretty much just saw that fight going the exact way it did, except I didn't think it would be finished with a body shot. And I definitely didn't think that. I thought it was probably gonna be a left hand that was gonna do it. And another thing that was peculiar is the way that they started countering that left hook. I took into fact that Javonte is a southpaw, right? But the way, instead of pulling that left hand, because Javonte is of a shorter frame and does have shorter arms, it was a lot smarter for him to actually go inside of that lead hook and underneath that lead hook, just so that he can wait for him to kind of turn his shoulder and start using that Philly shell. And because he overcommits on the left hook a lot, and he does tend to throw that lead hook as a jab. He throws it first, I think, just too many times, and when he does throw it, he likes to overcommit on it because it's fast, it's snappy, it's powerful. And so when he did overcommit on it, it just left an opening for Tank's left hand, and you can't do that. I think that's probably the hardest Ryan Garcia has been getting hit. That's why he didn't get up from that body shot, because he knew more was going to happen. I hear people saying it's rigged. I hear people saying, oh, boxing this, boxing that. Look, first off, at the end of the day, the only thing that's really that bad about boxing is that, one, there's too many rounds. These are the disclaimers that I have about boxing, right? Too many rounds. I think that 8 rounds really should be the max, and it would make them fight more, right? I think that the judging kind of sucks in there. I don't know how the judges scored that second round a 10-9. Like, every judge had it a 10-9. I might be tripping, right? I might be confused on it, but last time I checked, Tank dropped him, so that could be a 10-8. Or if they thought that Tank dropped him, but Ryan still won that round from what he did beforehand, then wouldn't that be like a 9-9 or something like that, right? Why would it not be a 10-8? Why would it not be a 9-9? Why would it be a 10-9? That confuses me a little bit, because I saw the judges' scorecards afterwards, and yeah, that confuses me. But and then another thing is just, some it's the people, the promoters in there. They kind of ruin it. They don't let these fights happen when they should happen. They milk it. Every fight is like a going out of business sale, and they're just, Dana pretty much worded it perfectly. So I'm not gonna quote him. The best usually aren't fighting the best, and when they do, they make a whole big spectacle out of it, which is cool. That fight was pretty awesome. You know, I'm not mad at that fight happening. Hopefully more of those fights start to happen now, and it encourages more. But yeah, the matchmaking, that's the other problem I have with boxing. But was it rigged? Was he paid not to get up? I mean, look how many people are clowning him after this. Look how many people are putting memes of him not getting up and stuff like that, and how many boxers are now saying, oh, he took the first out he got and stuff like that, like Andy Ruiz. I mean, would you want that? Would you take, you're already rich, you're Ryan Garcia, right? Would you take a specific amount of money to stay down on a knee like that? I mean, he's the one who signed everything to make this fight happen, right? He wanted this fight to happen. He wanted this win. He wanted this under his resume. Why would he just stay on a knee if it wasn't? Most of the people saying this, granted, are people who've never been hit with a liver shot. Most of the people saying this are people who don't understand that people walk in there with injuries all the time. I mean, if he wouldn't have said, oh, no excuses after this, yeah, and would have said I had a cracked rib going into this, and he hit me right on my cracked rib, y'all wouldn't be saying all the things that y'all are saying now. So I just think it's a little stupid and disrespectful for people to be saying, oh, it's rigged, oh, he could have gotten up, which maybe he could have. He got her up right after the 10 count, but does that mean he could have continued? Getting up and continuing are two different things. I mean, he could have gotten up and ate 10 times the amount of punishment from Tank by doing so. So, you know, there's give and take. I don't think he really should have been in there with Tank. I think Tank was better than him. I think that Tank just kind of had him figured out, and I figured that footwork would be speeding this matchup, and that's kind of what happened. But guys, let me know your thoughts on it. Do y'all think it was rigged? What do y'all think about boxing versus MMA versus Muay Thai? Yeah, did y'all watch any of the events that I'm talking about, or did y'all come to my channel to figure it out, what happened and the results and everything? Because that would be pretty dope if y'all did. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If y'all haven't seen any of these fights that I'm talking about, please go watch them. Go watch them. Don't just listen to me here and talk about them and break them down. Yeah, I mean, y'all could do that. It's cool with me, but I suggest that you go watch them, especially the one championship one. I'm gonna be coming out with more content, so please, I will help to familiarize you with one championship, but go out and watch some fights for yourself. I promise you're gonna love it, especially if you're one of those guys who you're Bleed MMA fan. You want to see that blood. You want to see, oh, no wrestling and just striking. And Muay Thai's in 4-ounce gloves, guys. 4-ounce gloves, way more exciting than boxing. 3-minute rounds, usually 3 rounds. Championship fights are 5 rounds. I don't know if it gets any more exciting than Muay Thai, to be honest, other than maybe the exciting parts of MMA. So MMA, Muay Thai, boxing, in my opinion. You decide for yourself. You comment for yourself. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching and stopping by my video today. If you like the content, please, you're more than welcome to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. And if you do choose to do so and subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified when more videos like this one pop up in the future. But with that being said, y'all stay safe and stay blessed, most importantly of all. I'm out. Peace.